Welcome, welcome, welcome. I need to warm my drum up a little bit, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a brand new Bone Shaman reading. Super excited. It's the first Bone Shaman reading of the year. I'm just warming my drum since we're in the winter months. How's everybody feeling? Hopefully you're watching on live or the replay. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Hopefully you're having a great day. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Bone Shaman readings are all about, I do these every single first Friday. And what it is it's an opportunity for us to connect to the ancestral realm and to do the work of generational healing and complexity that we face, and really allowing ourselves to pay attention to what's going on in the ways we experience complexities and challenge and struggle and hardship of any kind, or just a lot of moving parts, things that tend to overwhelm us or get us feeling even overly passionate or overly overly analytical, over perfectionism. There's just so many parts of our shadow we get to explore in these readings. And so when we do these readings, this is a great opportunity for you to tune in, especially when you're having some complicated situations going on, especially when you're feeling like, man, there's a lot happening and I just need a little clarity. I need a little clarity through this complexity. A lot of the weekly readings I post every Sunday at 1:11 p.m. Central Time. If you're an avid listener, you know this. But a lot of the weekly readings that I post, we talk a lot about the energy of the week and the energy to come. And a lot of times we're focusing on the mass collective energy, the energy that is kind of more general and not always personal to us, but still relevant because the mass collective is us. We are all together as one. We are all connected. And so a lot of times, sorry, I dropped my cards. A lot of times the weekly reading covers that energy, and it tends to be a little bit lighter, a little bit lighthearted, not as much complexity coming up unless it's one of those crazy freaking weeks. But for these readings, these Bone Shaman readings, this is where we're deliberately allowing ourselves to look at the shadows, look at the complexities, look at the challenges, look at the struggles, look at the feelings of overwhelm or imbalance in any way, and being able to filter through that, to sift through that as a collective and personally. So you also get to receive your own little mini reading with these Ancestral Bone Shaman readings. I was just shuffling all my cards because, y'all, I've been back-to-back readings like the last several days. I did an epic semi-annual sale. It just ended, so if you didn't get a chance to take advantage of it, I did extend it, so don't say I didn't tell you so to jump on it. But I've been back-to-back readings like every day this week almost, and I had my epic New Year's Eve show last week, and honestly since then I haven't really stopped moving and doing stuff and working, which is great because it's my favorite thing to do. I love it. It's honestly my favorite thing to do, y'all. Like, I love living this purpose because I just love doing this work, and it never feels like work. It just always feels like I'm continually doing what I love to do. So super excited. Looks like Jasmine already put in a super chat for a little mini reading. So for these mini readings, y'all, go ahead and utilize the super chat donation option. You can go ahead and super chat and then donate whatever feels good. It's pay whatever feels good to you. So do that if you want a mini reading. And my drum is warm now, yay. Okay. And do a little mini reading. We'll do a little mini reading on your experience. Make sure to have your question ready. If there's a specific question that you have that you want me to do a reading on, put that in just like Danielle did with the super chat so I can answer the question as it goes, as it shows up. Jasmine, go ahead and put your question in there as well if you have one, because you two will be the first ones I do the mini reads on, Jasmine and Danielle. Anybody else that wants a mini reading on a complicated situation they're facing or something that they just want clarity or guidance on, throw in a super chat donation of your choice and the question along with it, and I will go ahead and do that for you. But let's first call in the bone shaman energy, the ancestral energy, and allow for any sacred song to come through. It's funny, my voice was still really raspy up until today. It just started to get better after singing my heart out at the New Year's Eve show. And just in time, because the bone shaman loves when I do this little sacred song that comes through, always different every month. So this is the January bone shaman reading. We're going to get into it. Let's go ahead and close our eyes if it feels good to you, taking some deep breaths at your own natural pace as we call in the energy of our ancestors of the highest love and light vibration to grace us with their love, their wisdom, their guidance, and their support at this time through the energy of the bone shaman of the highest love and light. Ancestors, for being here with us in this space as we connect to your wisdom, your guidance, your love, your support for any complicated situations that we have as a collective or that any of us individually have at this time. All right, that was a quick one, y'all. The song came through so powerfully. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. Here we are. Let me see if y'all can see. I didn't put my little thing down that I usually do, but that's okay. All right, so here we go. The first thing that I notice is this little tooth, a true bone, and this is a animal tooth. And this is a symbol of connecting to our inner child and our innocence. It's a symbol of us connecting to our ability to align to what we know is right and wrong. For us to learn the lessons, I'm gonna move it down a little so we can see it and you can see my face. But I'm gonna keep it in the same sequence. For us to learn the lessons that we need to learn to help us decipher between what's right and what's wrong. Okay, this is an energy of connecting to our morality, our values. And a lot of us are having a lot of experiences show up in our life that are telling us more about what we hold valuable and what is right and wrong in our life. And also how we can approach things in a better way versus when we've maybe approached things in a not so great way. So down here, this is what we're talking about, this little animal tooth. And it's that innocence. It's that ability to have to look at your wisdom from an outside's view and to still understand the innocence you had in the experience that you're looking at, and to honor that and to know, okay, I was innocent because I didn't know better, or maybe I was innocent because I was, really not sure of, what side I needed to feel and perceive from. But that innocence is still needing to have accountability for what's right and what's wrong. And so this is the lesson. So a lot of you are going through experiences right now where you're having to see yourself in a really real way. And you're having to tell yourself what's right about what you're doing and what's wrong about what you're doing. And in that same breath, you're seeing the mirrors of that in your relationships, where you're seeing what other people could be doing right that they're not doing right, and what you need to say or express to get it on that track if it's meant to be. And so don't disregard the need to see both sides, right and wrong, and to be able to feel it and to understand it and to face it and acknowledge it. But also don't resist the innocence and the compassion you get to have for the innocence that's there in what you chose that you could have done better on, right? So facing mistakes, but understanding with compassion why those mistakes were made and how you get to rectify them through wisdom of looking at what's right and wrong from this perspective now. That's why these things are coming up. Then we have the divine feminine energy, ancestral energy, looking out into the world, looking out into the future. And this divine feminine energy is utilizing the awareness from the innocence and the awareness of what's right and wrong in that connection. And it's using that wisdom to perceive and look into the future and look out into the world. Okay, how are we going to apply this? How are we going to apply this awareness of both our innocence, but also our knowledge of what's right and wrong? How are we going to accept the innocence, love the innocence, have mercy and compassion for the innocence, and still preserve it in the ways that it's healthy for us, while also making sure that we're constantly staying accountable and responsible for what we know is right or wrong, and we're applying that, right? So that's your question to yourself with this Bone Shaman reading today on this beautiful first Friday of the year. So asking yourself, again, how do I get to preserve my innocence and love on it while still honoring what I'm being shown in helping me to discern between what's right and wrong and helping me to do better in my life? And how can I apply that to the world and my future for that purpose? This is going to be a lot of morality and values, okay? Honoring your values and morality and getting back to what you know is right and wrong for you in your life. That includes relationships, that includes connections with yourself, that includes how you move in the world, how you express yourself, how you operate, okay? We got the shell. The shell was in this little triangle. And the shell over here on the right side of the stage is our emotional body. We're needing to put a little bit more logic behind our emotional body. We're needing to honor the way in which our emotions get to give us information that help us apply strategy, there's that masculine, and action to really make the right moves for ourselves, okay? So this is saying don't take things too personally when you're evaluating the difference of what's right and wrong in your life. Don't take things too personally that are showing up around your expression of self and your innocence, and the way that may be being called forth to mature. Don't take things too personally on an emotional level. Instead, feel the emotion and then ask yourself, this what is this emotion trying to tell me? What is it teaching me, and what is it trying to get me to do with it? What action is it inspiring in me? And let me make that decision so that I can use the information of my emotion in a practical way, okay? Through action, through strategy, through application, okay? So really, really good mass collective energy in confusing or complicated situations, helping us sift through that. I'm going to go over it one more time just real quickly, because these are the three main general messages of January for the Bone Shaman reading of the collective, to get us through complicated situation or challenges that may come up all of January. Okay, the three main messages. First one, preserve your innocence. Send love and compassion to it, but also recognize how that innocence has maybe gotten you into certain situations, and be able to address and reflect on what you're learning in the difference between right and wrong from perceiving it in an outsider's perspective, in a bigger picture perspective. So honor your innocence, but also know that you know better, and see where you know better, and do better based on you knowing better, okay? And then in the intuitive energy, or feminine energy, looking out with that wisdom of knowing better, and that value system and that morality, looking out into the world and applying that wisdom and those tough love lessons to help us to mature and grow more successful in our future and for the world. You know, this is why complicated situations happen, is to teach us something or help us to create a energy or a skill or a perception that will help us to evolve in the future and manifest new things, and also help heal the world, okay? We are the healers. We're here to save the world. Listen to my song, Warrior World, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Rissa Vibes on all streaming services, okay? And then the last message, the third message, is allowing ourselves to take responsibility for our emotions and use our emotions in a practical way to help us apply certain actions and strategy for our future based on what those emotions are bringing up or what they're inspiring in us. Okay, that's the message of the Mass Collective. How do you feel? Are we vibing with it? Are we liking it? Are we picking it up? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Let me know. Let me know. I'm going to use, I need to add a little cushion to my table because this table is glass, and I usually have something under, or I should say over the table, another layer to pad this stage. All right, so here we go. Now we got a nice little solid foundation here. All right, we got the solid foundation, y'all. Let me get this little tooth back in there. It wasn't in there. All right, I'm seeing some super chats come in. I'm gonna start with Jasmine, then Danielle, then Marie is next. Anybody else who knows they want a mini reading, let's go ahead and get yourself in line. Send a little super chat donation, whatever feels good to you, and then add your question with it. And I will go down the line and get to you as soon as we're done with the ones before you, okay? Just shaking up my bones here, making sure everything's nice and jumbled up. I'm gonna spray a little aura spray. You know, you can get the aura spray anywhere you need, but preferably from my website, okay? I don't have my sticker on this one because it's my personal one. But if you want the aura spray to cleanse your aura, clear your aura, and you know, clear your friend's aura, whatever it is, go to my website, rissavibes.com, and you will be able to purchase my aura spray at any time, okay? All right, I wanna make sure these are good to go because they were getting caught in here, so I wanted to make sure that these were falling out appropriately. All right, now I'm ready for y'all. Okay, so we're going up to Jasmine first. Jasmine's question, whatever the bones need to say. Perfect. First of all, let me just shout out everybody. Jasmine's here, Danielle's here, Mystic Haven's here, good to see you. Carmen's here, hey Carmen, good to see you. Awesome, Maria's here, Kevin's here as well. Perfect, okay. Anybody else that's here, feel free to comment where you're tuning in from and let me know you're here. If you want a super chat donation, go ahead and put, or if you want a mini reading, go ahead and put a super chat donation in there. All right. Here we go, Jasmine. We're going to see what the bones have to say for you. Well, all of them fell out. Let me do that again. Y'all, when I shake these up, there's so much energy in here. I'm gonna bend this back. I think that's gonna help me. All right, here we go. Jasmine, you got a lot on your mind. Is that why all of them came out? All right, Jasmine, focus on your intention of whatever the bones want to say. We still got a few, but now we have a much more manageable stage here. Okay. I love this. There was a 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 4 pattern, and it was kind of like a drum. So there's a rhythm here for you, Jasmine. There's a rhythm here for you. And they're wanting you to pay attention to the rhythm of your experience. They're wanting you to pay attention to the way in which your experience is rhythmic and cyclic right now. It's almost as if you have some lessons that are coming back around, almost like you're experiencing similar lessons as you go through your year. I think you might have had a lot of repeated lessons in 2021, and that there's some more lessons along the way. 4 again, yeah, last time you had 4 too. That's so funny. Lessons along the way, kind of like this consecutive recurring lesson or lessons. So these lessons that you learned or that you've been seeing keep popping up between the end of 2021 and now, and even further back in 2021 at some points you had similar lessons. This lesson you're being called to learn, and you have to see it clearly. It's almost like your intuition is not looking at what you need to be looking at. Your intuition, this is your feminine essence, your divine feminine. She's upside down and she's looking away. She's not looking at the mess. You might be looking at the mess with the masculine, which is your logic and your strategy and maybe even your pride, but you're not letting your intuition look at it. And so that's what you're needing to do right now, Jasmine. You're needing to turn your feminine energy, your intuition, your creativity, your compassion, but mainly your intuition, to the problems and to the things, to the mess that you're seeing. It doesn't even feel much like problems. It kind of feels just like a mess in regards to lots of things that you need to sift through, like maybe a lot at once, or just like an unorganized energy. Maybe you've got a lot on your plate and you just keep going with emotions of getting things done one step at a time, but you're not actually letting your intuition look at it to make the mess not so overwhelming or so taxing. There is a distraction that you're allowing your intuition to use as a way of not looking at the mess. So eliminate distractions that are causing you to look away from what the real issue is. You may have some addiction energy coming up. These are habits or addictions coming up, not necessarily substance, but could be. But these addictions, these are distractions, and these are a part of the mess. The addictions to certain things that you know aren't good for you. You know you're not supposed to be doing it. Maybe it's food. It could be food, certain dietary things. But it's causing a certain kind of, it's causing a mess. It's causing a mess. And this mess is kind of creating a little bit of an amplified drama around everything else, okay? So really making sure that you pay attention to the things that are addictive to you that you know aren't good for you, and get that cleaned up. Whether it's dietary stuff, like you know you shouldn't be eating so much sugar, but you keep eating it. You know you shouldn't be drinking, as much, or you keep doing it. Or you know that you shouldn't be putting in so much stress on your plate, but you keep doing it. Like that stress, that addiction to that energy, the stress, the food, whatever it is, you need to eradicate that from your pattern. You need to take that out in order to see these things clearly. It's almost like this is shielding and covering up what's really here as well. So we're kind of peeling back the layers. So first of all, paying attention with your intuition. Second of all, peeling back and taking care of clearing the addictive aspects that you know are not good for you, that you've been entertaining, so that you can see the mess even clearer. Those are the first two steps. Then the next two things, this is a money situation. You're feeling upside down in money, or you're feeling like your money is not going in the direction you want. It's not feeling as valuable to you. You're not able to do as much with it as you want. So there's some money issues here. You're kind of feeling a little maybe defeated in your financial experience. And that's really why you're what you're using the addiction stuff to cover. And like I said, it's not necessarily substances. It could be, but it doesn't have to be. These addictions are kind of just behaviors, patterns that continue to happen. Perfect. You know what I'm talking about. So those things you're using to cover up this stress around money, or this feeling of defeat around money. But you actually have some luck available to you. You actually have some luck available to you. This is the elephant. You have a little bit of luck, and you have a little bit of opportunity to clear the obstacles that you're facing with this money situation. But you have to get to the layer of it that is really the root of the problem. So you need to ask yourself, what is my relationship with money like? Because it's not really the situation that you're facing financially that's causing the biggest issue. It's your relationship with financial situations in general, your relationship with money in general, that's causing you to not acknowledge the luck that you have and the way you can clear the obstacle. So you need to really honor that you can get yourself out of that financial feeling of defeat by changing the way you look at money, by looking at money in a more positive way, and by allowing yourself to honor the way in which you get to create a different experience with money. So start to work your alchemy, start to create some higher vibrational awareness around money. And I would recommend the book, Money is Love. And it's a really powerful book, and it will really help you change your money mentality. So if you're interested in that, any of you watching this, definitely check out Money is Love, the book. It's so good. The last part for you, Jasmine, is that there's these masks down here with this beautiful fairy globe. And so this is saying that you've taken off the mask to some areas of your life, and this is a spiritual part of the kind of mess of overwhelm or the moving parts you're experiencing. You've recently taken off the mask on some things in the way you view spirituality, or the way you view mysticism, or the way you view yourself in that realm. You've been able to see past the veil on that in yourself and in others and in the world. And part of that is it's exposed some pretty new awareness, some magical awareness, some connection, even some activation to certain gifts or synchronicities, or even gifts spiritually that you might not understand all the way right now, or even guides that you're connecting to that you might not understand all the way, or spiritual experiences in general that you're having, that it's kind of unveiled for you. And it's a little overwhelming because you're trying to process it. So those are the two main things that are really having you use these bad habits or addictions, food, substance, or patterns of behavior that are covering these experiences and allowing you to not look at them. It's providing a distraction or a veil that you get to kind of use to cover them. And once you take that veil off, you start to see the actual issues, the issues here being money and feeling defeated, and also exposing some more of your gifts and spiritual awarenesses that have caused maybe some overwhelm or confusion because you've taken the mask off, because you've looked beyond the veil. And then, like I said, I gave you some pointers on how to address that. With integrating the magic and the spiritual aspects of things that you've just become more aware of, you really want to just keep learning about it. If you have questions about what you've realized about yourself or about the world or about this mysticism you've uncovered, ask the questions. Go out and look for the information. Trust that you can find the answers by going out and looking at it. Don't hide those feelings or those activations or those curiosities with more of these bad habits. And don't hide your feelings of defeat or stress around money with those habits. Instead, let go of those habits so you can uncover that you actually get to create a new relationship with money through research, and you also get to create a deeper and more solid relationship with what you've just discovered spiritually with more research as well. Okay? Does that help, Jasmine? It looks like it does because you're giving me all the oh yeahs and yeses. So I'm super happy to do that. All right, loves, let's go ahead and do our next beautiful luminary viber, Danielle. Danielle just joined the coaching program recently, and she's already doing so well in the coaching program. So shout out to Danielle, and shout out to anybody else on here that has taken my Intuitive Luminary course and coaching program and graduated with new gifts, new alignment to your purpose, new soul power, new healing, all the things that you get with that program. And if any of you are interested in the program, definitely reach out to me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com, or you can go on my website and book a consultation. You can also use the link in this description or any of my weekly readings to book a consultation, because I am starting to accept new clients, at least on a consultation basis, before we actually open up the container. That way, if you know you want to be a part of it, you get all the information early, and you can start preparing for that container when it opens in another month or two. All right, so if you're interested in that, email me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com. Let me pour a little aura spray in here. You know, we got the aura spray for the win. Okay. All right, Danielle, and we had a question from you. Let me double check here. What work should I be more focused on for the year? Love it. This is for Danielle. For Danielle, what work should she be focused on for the year? Okay, you had 4 too, but it was a 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm getting from that is that the first 2 steps are going to feel slow, but then the energy is going to pick up. So right now, in the beginning, you're going to have to be a little bit patient on whatever your focus is, and we'll get to it in a second. But then once you really get past the first couple stages of that patience, you're going to see the energy and experience pick up a little bit more. I'm going to, oops, sorry, little trinket you rolled. I want to get all of these on here. You see the lava stone up here. Okay, cool, Danielle. So here we go. First of all, first lesson, first step. These are literally in steps of 4. We've got the first step here, second step here, third step here, fourth step here, okay? First step, your intuition is facing the masculine. What that means is that you are in a place of, hold on one second. My left and right. So you're actually facing the feminine. This feminine is facing the feminine, which is telling you that you've been facing the masculine, but you've had to turn away to look at the feminine more. This is your first step in the work you need to focus on. Looking away from the masculine and looking towards the feminine with your feminine energy. So what that means is with your compassion, with your creativity, with your intuition, with your energy of connection and your energy of grace. Those are the feminine traits. With all of those energies, you want to look to your feminine self, okay? So you want to treat your feminine from the feminine perspective. So your feminine is wanting to be catered by more feminine energy instead of by masculine energy. It's almost like you've catered to your creativity, your grace, your intuition, and your connection, your basis of connection. You've catered to it with a more masculine approach, more strategy, more practicality, less emotions, more of that kind of focus, and that's caused a little bit of an imbalance because you were already very masculine in your approach to things. So now your feminine energy is calling forth more feminine support. So you're wanting to use your intuition to help you create new things. You're wanting to use your intuition to help you connect with more people. You're wanting to use your intuition to help you become more compassionate with yourself. And you even want to use your compassion to help cater to your intuition and your creativity and all of those things. So you're wanting to use feminine energies on your feminine side of yourself, okay? Use the feminine to support the feminine in you, okay? That's the first step, okay, Danielle? The first piece of work you need to be focusing on. The second step is ancient masks, ancient connections. These are past lives. These are connections to ancient traditions, ancestral connections. These are ancient tribes and traditions. This is an ancient Mayan piece of pottery that represents our connections to other civilizations that had wisdom before us, that came before us. And this is our shell that looks just like a mask. Isn't that crazy how it looks just like a mask? Like really, from far away especially. I see it. I don't know if y'all see it, but I see it. And so this is you looking at these connections you have that you wear in your spirit, and that helps show you more about ancient ancestral wisdom that you're meant to receive right now. This is, remember, the part 2 of you using the feminine energy on your feminine energy. So you want to go after this with a feeling of intuition and grace and love and compassion and creativity. You don't want to go after diving into your past lives or into other traditions or other ancient wisdoms with a masculine approach. That would be, if you were to do that, it would kind of look like you were doing a lot of research, taking a lot of notes, making a lot of plans, creating a lot of things, physical things from that research. That's not what you're meant to do. You're meant to actually just feel into the flow of it. You're meant to feel into the intuitive connection you have to ancient traditions. You're meant to create some things from that connection you feel intuitively. You're meant to give yourself some sensual, slow and soft flow to revealing this stuff. Like, you're not meant to go into it with like this strong structure. You're meant to flow with what you're feeling within yourself that is tied to ancient traditions, wisdoms, and past lives and ancestors. So this could be making an altar and sitting in front of it every day, having things on the altar that represent creatively what you're wanting to create in your life, and also that represent creatively the types of ancestors you have or past lives you've had or ancient traditions, spiritual traditions that you have an affinity towards, putting that all on an altar, and then just standing in front of it and being present with it regularly, and really doing it that way. Rissa, I have another question. Should I donate again? If you have another question, Jasmine, since I already finished yours, yes, but you don't have to send too much. Just throw something quick up there just so I can address it, and I can pull again, because we do have other people in line, and that will add a little bit to the time, and I don't have a ton of time today, and I want to get through these relatively quickly. But yes, also, if you have a deeper question, for all of you to know this, I do these readings one-on-one for a whole 45 minutes to an hour with just you and me on Zoom or FaceTime, whatever you decide, and we can do a full Bone Shaman reading with the channeled message and the drum song that's catered to you, and more complex details and uncoverings of the stuff that you're wanting to know. So I hope that answers your question. Either one you choose is fine, and you can sign up for the Bone Shaman reading in my link in my bio on Instagram at Readings by Rissa, or email me, or go on my website, rissavibes.com. All right, so those are your first 2 steps, Danielle. First, letting the feminine cater to the feminine in you. Second, creating an altar or something creatively that represents your connection to ancient traditions and wisdoms and helps you to intuitively connect deeper to those connections, helping you to unveil even more information behind that energy of ancient wisdom, ancestors, and past lives. Then your next two steps, so those 2 steps are going to be like 1, 2. And then you're going to get 3, 4. So these 2 steps, 3, 4, are actually pretty quick together. 3 being also this addressing money for you. But your money issues or anything around money for you, your guides are saying, Danielle, that this is connected directly to your emotional body. Anytime you're feeling upside down in your emotions, you start to see your bank account balance flip upside down in a way too, kind of start to go into the negative, or just you start to lose a lot of money, or start to have to spend a lot of money. So your abundance is directly correlated to your emotional body. So if you're feeling upset or confused or feeling like things are just not right emotionally for you or unsettled in your emotional body, it's most likely going to reflect your abundance financially. So you want to work on your awareness of the correlation between your abundance and your emotional body so that you can manifest more abundance and take control over how you do so with that clarity. And that leads right into the ability, the 4th step, to create what you're wanting, a new career, the truest path for you, whatever it is, the next step for you that you want to go on in your financial journey or your emotional healing journey, or both. You're going to be addressing the next step with this creativity, this ability to fill the void with this wisdom you get from looking at how your emotional body and your finances go hand in hand. You may even be attracting certain work, or even being attracted to certain work that you know is not in alignment because your emotions aren't in alignment. So once you get your emotional body into alignment, then you'll align to the best way to make money in the most aligned purpose for you. And then you'll be able to create that because the clarity will come from that reflection and the work of aligning your emotional body to a high vibration so that your finances and your career can align in the same way. All right? Does that help? That's your 1, 2, 3, 4 path. I hope that helps y'all. Danielle, let me know. Yes, good. Glad that helped. Yes, Jasmine, you asked to be told what you needed to hear, not what you wanted to hear. Yeah, that's what the Bone Shaman energy readings do. I mean, they be cutting us right to the jump, okay? Right to the source. All right, let's get in our last reading, Marie, unless anybody else pops up in the next couple minutes. But I am going to keep it relatively short. If not, I'm going to give you the same time, of course, as everybody else, Marie. But I like to do these readings for about an hour. And then I like to jet because it's a lot of energy. But also, because your girl is busy. I have been nonstop with readings and events and social things and all of that since the year started. I don't know about y'all, but it has been pretty intense and pretty fun, though, as well. I'm also going to maybe pull 1 card or 2 at the end of this. All right, Marie, let's see what we want to activate for you. What will 2022 bring this year for me since I've moved to Colorado? Thank you so much. You guys, if you ever get an aura spray and it doesn't spray, you've got to breathe into it. You've got to take the cap off and breathe into it. Okay, that's like literally all it takes. Boom, see it's going. That's just a bottle thing. I've tried so many different bottles, brands for wholesale, and it's just like one of those things. All right, y'all, so let's see what Marie's got for 2022 with her recent move. Oh, you only had 1 hit, and they all came out at once. That was pretty cool. All right, you've got a nice correlation. Ooh, girl. You got a nice little correlation here. Okay. I'm reading them without trying to get too ahead of myself. Okay, so let's start here. All one line. So this is like, because you've made the move to Colorado, boom, you're going off into a whole timeline that is actually really beautiful and fun. First thing is your knowledge and wisdom is activating. You are learning new things. You've had to learn new things to make this jump. And you're also going to be learning a lot of new things that you've wanted to learn because you've moved to Colorado, because you've made that jump. You're going to receive the information that you are meant to receive, okay? Because you've made the jump to receive it, because you've opened the door, because you've stated that you're ready. Now, because of that, girl, you got this whole situation happening right here. This whole situation is, I don't know if y'all can see. Do you see these two right here? These two overlapping each other. The feminine and the masculine are like, they're like doing something, like doing a little kissy kissy or something like that. And they're intertwined. They're in an entanglement, if you will. But all jokes aside, this is romance. This is connection. This is you meeting your divine partner, or if you're already with somebody, that this connection deepening. But there's a deepening of connection and love. You are meeting your partner. I really don't feel like you have, do you have a partner? I'm not sure, because I feel like this is a meeting energy, like you're meeting somebody. And if you do have somebody that you've already met, there might be somebody else that's going to show up instead, or that you might just deepen it. But it feels like this is big. I'm getting lots and lots of tingles. All right, I just got a super chat donation from Mystic Haven, so that'll be the last reading, y'all, just so you all know. That'll be the last reading of today for the Bone Shaman. So if you want more readings, definitely reach back out and I will be able to help you out one-on-one, or you can wait and save your following questions for next First Friday, which I can do. All right, so because you took the jump, Marie, and moved to Colorado. No, you don't. I'm very single. Well, you weren't going to be very single for long, girl, because it's coming in hot. Because you took the jump to Colorado and now you've opened the door for new knowledge, and you've had to create new knowledge for yourself to really do this jump, make this jump, move, and everything. Now you're going to really see the abundance you asked for. The first abundance is your partner, but it's also going to come with some shadow stuff that needs to be worked out, some mirror work. You guys are going to be reflecting to each other what needs to still be worked on or worked out in order for you both to really have a blossoming and blooming divine love connection. I do feel like it's going to be very possible for you both, but you need to do the mirror work. So any problems that may arise in that connection when you meet him or them, you'll want to honor the way that connection comes through. And you're wanting to look at the mirror of it, okay? You're wanting to look at the mirror of it. Hey, Marie's getting that love energy. I see y'all supporting each other, okay? So yeah, that connection is coming in hot, Marie. This love romance vibe, I'm here for it. But make sure you don't skip over the mirror work that shows up. That means if you start to see red flags from them, or there starts to become conflict at all, make sure you look at yourself and see if you've sourced those red flags, or if you're looking at it a way that's creating a red flag that doesn't need to be one, or if you have the same kind of shadow within yourself that you need to work through in order to help clear the energy between the mirror of you both. So do that work. Then on the next part of this is abundance. A new form of money, a new type of money, a new way of gaining money, a new way of gaining money is what they're saying. A new way of gaining money, new abundance coming in a new form because you've taken this new leap. And that's going to come right after you meet this person and start doing this mirror work. And in fact, the mirror work that you do with this person is also going to directly connect to your financial abundance. And it's going to increase it. The things you learn from this mirror